He didn't cry. But that didn't mean he wasn't breaking. This is the quiet story of a father's silent pain and the love that kept him from falling apart. More stories of quiet strength await. Hit subscribe to stay with us. Charles Ingalls was always the strong one, the man who carried wood, built homes, and stood like a shield against the storms of a world that never stopped testing him. To neighbors, he was the rock, steady, dependable, the one with a reassuring smile or the strength to lift a fallen beam. People believed he didn't cry because he was unshakable, as if hardship simply rolled off his broad shoulders. But the truth was softer, more complex. He didn't cry because he didn't know how to, because the pain was too deep to find words, too heavy to release in tears. When Mary lost her sight, it wasn't just her world that went dark. His did too. Every hope he had quietly held for her, every dream he had nurtured in silence, disappeared into a hollow so vast he didn't know how to fill. If you feel his pain, share this with someone who needs it too. And don't forget to subscribe. At night, when the house grew quiet and the children's breathing softened into sleep, Charles would slip outside and sit alone on the porch. The stars above felt farther than ever, and the weight of holding his family together pressed heavy on his chest. No one saw him then. Not Laura, not little Carrie, not even Caroline. No one heard the quiet sighs that trembled into choked-back tears, or the silent prayers he sent up to a sky that never seemed to answer. Charles wasn't unbreakable. He was a man breaking softly in the shadows, so his family wouldn't have to. The world expected him to be strong, so he wore that strength like armor, even as it rubbed raw and bruised the man beneath. So he worked. He chopped wood until his palms were raw, mended fences against the biting wind, and fixed broken things, because fixing them was easier than fixing himself. Every hammer strike, every shovel of dirt was a silent prayer whispered from his aching chest. Please, don't let them see me fall apart. In the steady rhythm of his work, he found a fragile kind of peace, a way to keep the pieces of himself from scattering, at least for one more day. The ache in his muscles became a welcome distraction from the heavier ache in his heart. If he kept his hands busy, maybe, just maybe, the sorrow wouldn't find him. Caroline saw it. She always had. But she didn't speak. Not a word. One night, she placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, soft and steady, like the coming dawn. He didn't turn to look at her. He couldn't. He feared that if their eyes met, the dam inside him would break, and all the pain he had held back would come pouring out. So they sat in silence. But in that silence, her small touch spoke louder than any words ever could. It said, "I see you, I'm here. You don't have to carry this alone." And somehow, in that quiet moment, it was enough. Charles never cried, not in front of them. But the pain didn't leave. It settled quietly in his eyes, in the way he hugged his daughters a little tighter, lingered a little longer at Mary's bedside, and worked harder than ever before. He poured himself into every small act, into each meal cooked, every lesson taught, every quiet gesture of care. Because for Charles Ingalls, love was never about being unbroken. It was about staying even when his heart felt splintered. It was about showing up again and again, day after day, for the people who needed him most. Some fathers never speak their pain. They don't show their tears, but they love with every quiet choice, every sleepless night, every moment they refuse to give up. Because sometimes the greatest strength isn't found in the absence of sorrow. It's in the courage to keep loving, even when your heart is heavy. Has your father or someone you love ever carried pain in silence? Share your story below. Someone out there might need to hear it. And remember, even the quietest love can echo the loudest. Sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones that have broken, and yet still choose to love anyway.